Anyone who does not cerebrally absorb the velocity of the information presented in this video cannot be considered truly culturally literate. It is substantiated through the videotape depositions that this man, Elliot Mintz, was instrumental in assisting Bob Dylan in the stealing of my, James Damiano's, songs. Mr. Mintz is a real big shot.
One day during Christmas, in the latter part, I think it's 1978, I'm in New York. They invite me to the Dakota to spend one of the Christmas days with them. And I go up to the Dakota, and I notice in the living room there's a vase with a single branch of a tree that's their Christmas decoration. And I sat down on the white couch in the white living room, and we're just making small talk. And then there's a knock on the door after the intercom, and he opens it, and Paul and Linda McCartney walk in. And they come in, and John just said, "This is our friend Elliot." And I said, "Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Linda." And we sat and we talked for a while. And then they decided to go to a place called Elaine's, which was the cause celeb of restaurants in Manhattan at the time. And we got into Paul's car and we went up to Elaine's, the five of us. And they perused the menu, all of them. Didn't see anything they particularly liked. And Elaine's did have a reputation. I mean, you walk in and there's Woody Allen, there's Gore Vidal, and there's Tom Wolfe, and there's, all those people. But the food was miserable. And everybody knew it, and it was reviewed as being awful. And Elaine could be problematic as well. And Linda said, there's a great pizza place not far from here. Really thin-crusted pizza, Do you think you could get a pizza delivered here, and we could eat that? And she said it directly to me. Who else was she going to suggest it to? Yoko, would you drop the dime? And I knew I knew what a social faux pas was this. But I also knew that Elaine was not going to escort it. You must leave my restaurant. We had the pizza delivered through the back door. It was taken out of the cardboard box. It was put on beautiful Elaine's plates and brought out so a casual observer would think it's a dish that they hadn't seen yet. We had the pizza. It was pretty good. And then we took a car back to the Dakota. And then we went back into the white room. The sun was setting. And Linda and Yoko kind of went off on their own. Yoko always loved Linda McCartney. They got along great. And John and Paul kind of wandered over to this very, very tall window that looked down upon the west side of Manhattan. And the lights were coming on. You saw some of the Christmas decorations, etc. And me, the fifth wheel, was sitting on the couch, looking at the white carpeting and the branch in the vase. And I could pick up bits and pieces of conversation. Now, I've explained many times when people say, how can you report exact conversations you had with John and Yoko in your book and go on for paragraphs and paragraphs when you never had a diary, you never kept a journal, and obviously I never tape recorded them except when we were on the radio. I have an answer for all that, but in this case, because I could barely hear, they were far away, I can only catch spasms. And it was small talk, nothing of substance. And I do remember Paul asking John, "So you're making any music these days?" And John replying to Sir Paul, "No, my time is with me baby. That's what I do all the time. I don't make any music. What about you?" And Paul said, "I'm always making music. I make music every day of my life. I can't stop making music." And I thought to myself as I sat on the couch, what would have happened if John bit the bait and said, "I got a couple of guitars in the other room.
Yeah.
Why don't I bring them out, just for the hell of it?" And the two of them could have sat in the living room and maybe changed the face of contemporary music.
Yeah. One more time.
One more time. The McCartneys stayed for another hour or so and left. I stayed on with John and Yoko. And again, wondering why they had me there. So I asked them. And they said, "No big deal. You were coming in for Christmas and they were around. So why, didn't you like them?" And I said, "No, they seem like very, very nice people. How did that feel for you?" He said, "What do you mean, how did it feel to me?" And I said, "Was there any tension?" He said, it was dismissive. He said, "You were with us all afternoon." Well, I mean, the two of them have known each other since they were 9 years old, practically. Yeah. So that, I've mentioned this story to a couple of the real Beatle historian people who believe that that was the last time that they were together. I can't attest to that. And it's my point of view. Sir Paul has not discussed that visit at all. It was anticlimactic. And I've run into Sir Paul on a few other occasions since. We both eat at a little restaurant out of the way, and we were just seated. I was with a date, and he was with his new wife. And on the way out, I just said, "It's good to see you again." He asked how Yoko was doing. Always very civil and polite, and went to one of his concerts, and he greeted me after the concert, and we were going to do an interview, but we didn't. I got along with the others better, especially George. I went to all the Wilbury sessions, of course, that George had, because I brought Bob there.
Yeah.
And, George would never miss a Dylan concert, so I'd arrange for him to have a chair and a glass of water right off the side of the stage by a curtain. That's all he ever asked for.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because this incredible bond they had created so much great music. I saw a quote where Paul was saying, we sat down together to write a song, whatever it was, 100 and something times. And he said, in every instance, we always came out with something.
Always.
Yeah.
This is the videotape deposition of Elliot Mintz in the matter of Damiano versus Sony Music and Bob Dylan. Counsel, please introduce yourselves and state your appearances.
Stephen Kramer for the plaintiff.
Orrin Snyder, and soon to be joined by Stephen Hayes for Sony Music Entertainment and Bob Dylan.
What is your profession, sir?
I'm a media consultant.
And how long have you been in that profession?
Since approximately, give or take, since 1975, 76. 20 years.
And how long has Mr. Dillon been your client, sir?
Since, I believe, October of 1986, approximately 10 years.
You've spoken with Mr. Damiano.
I have.
Okay. Have you ever lied to Mr. Damiano?
Yes.
And can you list for me the times that you lied to him?
First of all of my conversations with Mr. Damiano were telephonic. To the best of my knowledge, I've never met him. Many times, not many times, but on those occasions when he would ask me, could I pass on something to Mr. Dillon, I may have said to him, I'll try and pass it along, 4 words to that effect.
He just grabbed it out of his hand and started to read the song for him. And he was very impressed by the song. At least he seemed that way. And he said, oh yeah, that's very good. He loves it. And he will make sure he swore to us.
When you say swore to us, did he use those words, I swear to you?
Oh, he promised. He promised us.
Mm-hmm. And did you...
I was totally convinced that he was going to give the songs to Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the Jones Beach concert, if we may, to the time when you offered the tickets to Mr. Damiano before the concert actually took place. Okay? During that point in time when you offered the tickets to him and before he actually went to the concert, did you ever say to him or suggest to him that maybe he should bring some of his songs with him?
No, I did not.
Do you deny saying that, or is it you just don't recall one way or the other?
I deny suggesting to Jim that he bring songs along with him. I did, however, concur with him when he asked me, do you think I should bring my songs with me? I said, sure, why not? What could it hurt?
More questions.
Okay.
So we can end the inconvenience for you. You said you met Mikey Harris through her son Duke.
No, I met Mikey Harris first at Tony Tiller's house at a party. That's when I met. No, I met Mikey Harris first at Tony Tiller's house at a party. That's when I met Mikey Harris.
Hello?
Mikey?
Yes?
Hi. How you doing?
Jim, how are you?
Things have been really happening. I want to get you the book, but it's just been so crazy.
That's okay.
You know Frank Rand from Epic Records?
I remember him, sure. Long time ago.
Let me ask you a question. Would you work with me as an artist if I was working with Frank Rand? And
what's he doing now?
He's working with a record company. He's working with the heck's the name of the record company? It's WEA, W-E-A, but it was WEA, right?
Right.
Warner Electric and Atlantic. And he's working with, did you ever hear of Eric Burden?
Pardon me?
Eric Burden and the Animals?
Yeah, a long time ago, yes.
Yeah, he's working, he just got done doing a project with Eric Burden, and I have a chance. Now, you know I'm a very easy artist to work with, right? I'm not hard to work with, right?
Well, I don't remember you being difficult to work with.
Jim handed the book, started to hand the book to him, and then someone else came over and took the lyric whether it was a book or an envelope with the lyrics in it, took this package and walked towards the bus along with the other people, and they all got onto the bus, the door closed, and the bus drove away.
Sir, I want to turn now to this meeting that you said happened with Mr. Tiller. Do you remember when that occurred? Your statement says July of '87. Is that about when it happened?
Yeah, I believe so. For Anthony to come out, we sat there for a while. Jim had his lyrics books with him, one big thick book, and we were just sitting there for a while. Then Anthony came out. I remember him being in a suit, good-looking, like black man, gentleman, and he took us aside. Yes, and we went to his office. And we just sat down. It was like a big chair, one of these, looked like a recliner kind of chair, but it was just a big chair that I was sitting in. And they were acting like they were good friends. I mean, talking, hugging, you know. And they read some of the lyrics. He had Jim's book in his desk, and he was reading through it. Jim was pointing out certain lyrics to him, and they were talking and talking. Then we got into the conversation about recording this my cousin Joanne tape, and I just wanted to get some feedback from Anthony based on his position in this company, what he believes that anything could happen with this if we produce it. And the feedback I got is absolutely yes. That we got into the bottom. Does he read? Is he getting James Damiano's lyrics? And I remember the answer, yes. He's been reading his lyrics, and I even remember recalling Anthony bringing up Bruce Springsteen's name. And I was just like from nowhere. I never heard that before, but it just came up that James' lyrics was also given to Bruce Springsteen, which I knew who that was. And I remember leaving this meeting with a very good feeling. Okay, I was convinced by Anthony if I produce this record, if I pay for it, that it could end up being a very big hit.
Okay, sir. And that's basically what happened at the meeting?
That's basically it. I left there with very good vibes.
And if you could tell us what the office looked like in a little more detail. Were there records on the wall? There
were records in the lobby. I know that. There were a bunch of records in the lobby. I was only in that building that one.
Can you list for me, sir, what other songwriters, other than Mr. Damiano, whose material you had on any shelf in your office while employed either by CBS or Sony?
Songwriters. Do the Gershwins count?
Appreciation, anything.
Tokens of appreciation.
Or gifts, anything that you can think of.
None that I can recall, but if I did it as a friend to a friend, because I considered Jim a very good friend. And I occasionally give my friends things as my friends give me things.
Okay. And do you recall, let me try to refresh your recollection, if I may.
I deny suggesting to Jim that he bring songs along with him. I did, however, concur with him when he asked me, do you think I should bring my songs with me? I said, sure, why not? What could it hurt?
Most people walking around today have absolutely no idea what's really going on behind the headlines. For decades, the pathway to public opinion was controlled by a handful of gatekeepers: major newspapers, television networks, established magazines. If you wanted to reach millions of people with your message, you had to go through them, and they decided what was newsworthy, what was credible, what deserved attention, and what deserved to be ignored. That gave them extraordinary power, not just to inform, but to shape, to decide which stories lived and which stories died, to determine what questions got asked and what questions never even entered the conversation, except now they couldn't, not completely.
Call that.
Can I object? And was this something that was turned over to us, a transcript that you're reading from?
It's not a tape, Mr. Snyder.
Was it a note of a conversation that your client gave to you?
Yes.
Deposition's over. We're leaving. We're leaving. Let's go. We're leaving.
Cover my notes.
The client's been turning over documents late. And
Mr. Snyder, we just found out documents were destroyed. So please, get off your high horse. Get off your high horse, please.
Before the lawsuit was filed, thank you. Blank pieces of paper.
Not blank pieces of paper. Documents that he's contending were illegible.
Do you think of yourself primarily as a singer or as a poet?
Oh, I think of myself more as a song and dance man, you know.
What? The criticism that you've received for more or less leaving folk music for folk rock hasn't seemed to bother you very much. Do you think you'll stick with folk rock, or are you going on into more writing?
I don't play folk rock.
What would you call your music?
I would call it, I like to think of it more in terms of vision music. It's mathematical music.
Would you say that the words were more important than the music?
The words are just as important as the music. There would be no music without the words.
Which do you do first, ordinarily?
The words.
Do you think there will ever be a time when you will paint or sculpt?
Oh, yes. Oh, sure.
Do you think there'll ever be a time when you'll be hung as a thief?
You weren't supposed to say that.